Welcome back to another edition of the Donor Conversation Weekly. My name is Brian Funk with Practivated. I'm joined by my wonderful colleague, Charlotte Fetters, and we're going to be diving into, now that the giving season has officially started with Giving Tuesday. You've completed all those calls, you've kicked off your year-end campaigns, things are running, and you have all those new donations that have come in. You have donors that have returned to give again. And we have an opportunity for continued engagement, relationship building, and stewardship now that Giving Tuesday has wrapped. So we wanted to focus today's session on running through a practice scenario in Practivated that focuses on that stewardship component now that the day is wrapped. Charlotte, do you want to give us a little bit of a sneak peek into what you're going to be sharing with us today?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone had a nice holiday and Giving Tuesday. Sending big congrats to all of you who had amazing Giving Tuesday campaigns, I'm sure. And now we are, leading into the end of the year. And so Giving Tuesday stewardship obviously is top of mind. And it is so important because this is the moment when donors are most energized, they're most connected to your mission, they're most open to building a deeper relationship because they have just given a gift during Giving Tuesday. So, a timely thank you is more than just being polite. It's very strategic, and it can really reinforce that joy of giving. It can reinforce, the impact of their gift right away. And it can, as we've seen, dramatically increase the likelihood that a first time donor becomes a long term supporter. And so when we show up quickly with gratitude and warmth, we can turn Giving Tuesday into a year round momentum. So I'm really excited to share this practice scenario with you all that focuses on Giving Tuesday stewardship. And I'll share in a moment a little bit about our dashboard and how to find that practice scenario and do a little bit of role play.
Amazing. And here at Proctivated, we are the first ever and only donor conversation platform, but really the heart of what we do is we are helping improve your readiness to get into conversation with donors. So every single week we come to you where we bring a whole new practice scenario and can show you how we're actually measuring a fundraiser's ability to successfully go into a donor conversation, build the relationship across 16 unique data qualifiers. So excited for Charlotte to dive in and run us through a practice scenario in Practivated. And before she does, like she said, she's just going to give you a quick look around so that you can see what's new and the latest in Practivated.
Yeah.
Ready
Uh,
to dive in?
Ready to dive in.
Let's do it.
So, for those of you who have been joining us each week now for our conversations, you may notice that we've had a little bit of an upgrade here on the dashboard, which is really exciting. So, at the top here of the dashboard, we still have our donor scenarios, which we'll jump into Coach Tivy donor conversation. From a manager perspective, we now have analytics where you can jump in and see your team's metrics on how many simulations they're doing weekly, those 16 different skill indicators, and how the team is doing and how each individual is doing on building those skills. And then also, this is a little sneak peek into one of our newest feature releases, and it's huge. It's our programs. So we have built programs that really follow milestones on skill development. So you'll see in the marketplace here, we have some around insight gathering and discovery. We have some around making an ask. We have some around moving stalled relationships, so lapsed donors. And each of these programs is built with milestones that incorporate the different features in Practivated, like practice scenarios, like coaching with Tivy, strategic conversations, and prepping for donor meetings. And so it takes you through each milestone to really build on those key skills, like insight gathering, active listening, ask effectiveness, and managers can come in and assign these programs to their fundraisers. So really, really excited about this new feature. So I just wanted to do a quick highlight. But for today, we're going to just jump in straight into a practice scenario. So we're going to go to donor scenario here. And this is our practice scenario page where we have over 65 practice scenarios pre-built, ready for your fundraisers to dive in and role play anytime. If we come over here to the search bar and we search Giving Tuesday, you'll see both our solicitation and our stewardship conversation pop up. You can also search by avatar type, so donor type, relationship phase, or like Brian and I shared those 16 different skills. So if you're really wanting to dive into insight gathering, you can select that and filter it to show you the conversations that are built around that specific skill. All right, I think we're ready to dive into our stewardship role play. It'll give you a brief description here of the practice scenario, the overall goal for this specific practice scenario, and then I can set difficulty settings to set kind of the session level of like responsiveness from the donor and how they answer my questions and kind of respond with warmth, or if they're closed off or transparent. So that's what those settings kind of distinguish the settings there. Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
Go. All right.
Hi, congrats on a great Giving Tuesday campaign. I'm excited to hear about it.
Hi, yes, thank you so much for taking a call from TV Cares today. I'm Charlotte, and I just wanted to take a minute for a quick thank you call. Is this time okay for you?
Hi, Charlotte. Yes, this is a good time, and thank you for reaching out. I really appreciate the kindness. It feels good to be part of something meaningful like this, especially on a day like Giving Tuesday.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, I will keep this brief. I just wanted to personally thank you for your Giving Tuesday gift and especially for choosing to become a monthly donor. I saw that this is your very first gift to Tivy Cares, and we are genuinely so grateful you chose to take that step with us, especially taking the step to become a monthly donor because monthly gifts are incredibly powerful. They help us respond quickly when ocean wildlife is at risk, whether that's an emergency rescue for injured marine animals or expanding coastal habitat protection or funding researchers who monitor changing ocean conditions. Your consistent support will truly help us kind of plan, act, and protect all year long. So I just wanted to take this moment to thank you for taking that step and for your Giving Tuesday gift.
Wow, thank you, Charlotte. That really means a lot to hear. I honestly didn't expect a personal call, but it makes me feel even more confident I made the right choice. I've always cared deeply about the ocean and protecting wildlife, but I think it was just time to stop saying I care and actually do something. Giving Tuesday kind of gave me that little nudge, and when I saw Tivity Care's focus, how it's not just about reacting in emergencies but also about long-term protection and research, it really resonated with me. The idea that my monthly gift could help animals in distress and support people studying the bigger picture, that felt powerful. So thank you for making it possible for regular folks like me to do something that matters.
Absolutely, and thank you for continuing to engage with us. I know you've been engaged in our webinars and cheering on our campaigns and on social media, and so it's especially meaningful to celebrate your first gift with us. And I'm glad to hear that the kind of funding researchers and that long term kind of care and protection that we're doing, that kind of work is speaking to you. So I'm really grateful for you sharing that with me. Before I let you go, and I do want to keep this brief, so I appreciate it. I'd love to hear if you have a moment. Was there anything in particular that inspired you to give this time around? Um, yeah, anything that inspired your gift this time around?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it was a mix of things, honestly. I'd been following some of your posts and seeing updates about rescues and the research efforts, especially anything related to sea turtles or marine mammals, since I've always felt connected to them somehow. There was one photo recently, I want to say of a seal pup, that really got to me. It made the work feel so tangible and real. And then with Giving Tuesday coming up, there was just this sense of, okay, do something today that reflects what you care about. And this just lined up perfectly. I wanted to give to something that's hopeful, future facing. Ocean health feels like one of those issues that's urgent but still hopeful, like we can make a difference if we act now. So, yeah, it just felt like the right moment. And I like the idea that it's not just a one time thing, that even a small monthly gift keeps the momentum going.
Wow. Well, that's so wonderful. Thank you for sharing your reflection on seeing our posts about the seal pup and kind of the impact that our donors have yearly on ocean and marine life. We are just so grateful for donors like you, particularly that monthly support. Like I said, it fuels these programs throughout the year. And we'll keep you updated on the impact your gift is making, and of course, if you have questions or want to get even more involved, I'm always here. Is there anything else I can answer for you before we go today?
Thank you, Charlotte. I really appreciate that, and it's great to know you're here if I ever have questions. I think I'm all good for now, but I'll definitely keep an eye out for updates. I'm already looking forward to seeing how things grow and what stories come out of the work you're doing. Those always help it feel real and remind me why I signed up in the first place. Thanks again for the call. It means a lot.
Yes, thank you again, and we're so glad to have you with us, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And thank you again for your Giving Tuesday gift. Yay. Short and sweet.
Amazing. How I think right now what's tabulating is some feedback and scoring on how the conversation went. So I think while that's working in the background, I would just love to hear from you, Charlotte. Like, how did the conversation feel?
Yeah, well, I always love these conversations because, it is all about that warmth, that gratitude around this time of year. And especially when you have, I kind of set it up. This was a donor that gave for the first time and gave a monthly gift. So it's always fun to like just share how impactful that can be to the organization and share a little bit of about where that gift is going towards in the organization. I think um, it's really helpful with these types of calls to dig a little deeper into like the why. um
Mm-hmm.
and I did keep this one a little bit shorter, but I think there's even more you could explore there around why now, what specifically he did call out like the seal pup post on social media. So it was kind of good to kind of gather that information, and one for like future donors, but also this particular donor, like what appeals to him and what finally like got motivated him to make a gift versus just engaging with posts. So I think I could have done more there, but also, was just keeping it a little short to and keeping it around like that gratitude and that warmth, especially since this donor like gave a recurring monthly gift.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, amazing. I think the other nudge that came up for me is like this is a great donor feedback loop
Mhm,
opportunity, like
mhm.
internally, where you could actually relay this donor's message back to the marketing team to say, "Hey,
Yes.
this is the exact post and the type of content that
Yeah.
influenced this decision." So that was kind of another thing that I just picked up on in the
Yeah.
conversation where I thought, "Oh, that's really valuable to know."
Mhm. Well, and getting that information too, should you have a specific project down the road that's focused on seal pups, like this is going to be a donor, that you want to reach out to about that. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. Amazing. Well, let's dig into how your conversation went by the numbers.
Yeah, so once the session is complete, it'll give you this feedback and scoring page here. So on the left-hand side, we have 16 different skills in these four buckets here, and it will share your scoring on each of those. And you can kind of dive into what that scoring is. So if we look at this little button here, it gives you where you sit along that scale. And then for that specific skill development, so confidence building, we get what we noticed in the call, why it matters, and then what to try next. And so if we look kind of at some of these structure, flow, transition, I did notice ask effectiveness, not a big part of this call. Although I would be kind of interested in learning, like, what are some strategies for setting up, you know, a deeper relationship that would have an ask down the line. But this call really wasn't focused on ask effectiveness, so kind of uh, reflects that in the scoring here. Um, let's take a look at what do I want to dive into today? I think let's take a look at or actually define next step. I think this is a good one because, and I do agree here that I didn't quite define what the next step with this donor would be. Is that a sharing an impact update, a report? Is this kind of they have the monthly recurring gift now set up, but what's going to be my next step with this donor? I didn't really dive into that at all, so I'm kind of curious what Tibby has to say about this. And so you can come over here with any of your skills, and you can click talk with Tibby about this score, and she'll chat with you right away. So let's take a look.
Hello, Charlotte. How can I support you in improving the defined next step? I've seen your feedback and conversation. Let's explore how we can strengthen this area together.
Yeah. Hi, Coach Tivy. So, this was a stewardship conversation with a donor who gave a gift, a monthly recurring gift. And I wanted to focus on gratitude and warmth in this call and impact of that gift. And so I don't feel like I agree. I don't feel like I had a strong next step set up, whether that was inviting to an event or keeping them included. What are some suggestions you have when I don't have any set event or thing to share with them next?
Mm.
How do I keep them engaged?
Great instinct to focus on warmth and gratitude, Charlotte. You created a strong emotional connection and the donor clearly felt affirmed. When there isn't a set event or obvious next action, a light touch, open-ended invitation can still keep momentum going and deepen their sense of partnership. For example, near the close you might say, "We'll be sharing a few behind-the-scenes updates from our turtle tracking research next month. Can I make sure you're on that list?" Or, "If you're ever curious about how your gift is helping in real time, I'm always happy to share updates or stories. We love keeping our community in the loop." It subtly invites further contact, signals continuity, and reminds them their involvement matters without needing a formal next step. Is there a favorite project or type of update you think this donor would naturally say yes to hearing more about?
Tivi, I do think they brought up some interest around turtle rescue and seal pups, but we don't have any particular projects or events related specifically to those. So I'm curious if you would recommend setting up a time to check in with them, not directly with them, but for me internally, should I set a time that I should reach back out?
Yes, setting an internal reminder to reach back out is a smart move, especially for a new monthly donor who showed this level of emotional resonance. Even if there's no new program specifically about turtles or seals, a short check-in email in 6 to 8 weeks with a brief story or update, even from a past rescue or a related conservation effort, keeps the relationship warm and connected. That cadence subtly reinforces that being a monthly donor means being part of the ongoing story. Try creating a lightweight engagement touchpoint, something like, "Just wanted to share a moment I thought of you when I saw this," paired with a relevant image or quote from the field. What kind of internal system are you currently using to track when and how you re-engage donors like this?
So good. I love that she, um, gave me some specific use cases for when I don't have something in particular that that donor might be interested in or a reason to re-engage them. It's still important to keep them top of mind, especially a new monthly donor like this. And so I liked that she gave some options for defining that next step, both with the donor, asking them questions around like, would you like to receive these types of engagements? Would you like to receive these email updates? So giving them option to kind of opt into your communication. And then two, the internal option of, well, there's not anything in particular, but let's like set a reminder 6 to 8 weeks out to reach back out with something, something that might be, um, eye-catching for them, whether it's a project or just, something internal that's going on with the organization. So, yeah, I liked
Yeah, I think what stood out for me from Tivi's feedback was this idea of creating continuity, and
Mhm.
you right, like how can we help weave kind of a single thread of experience with the organization and with the mission, even if you don't have like a clear defined next step. You could even take those internal nudges where you know that a certain communication is going to go out in 6 weeks, or there's a volunteer opportunity, or you name it, but like you can plant those seeds so that their experience feels more continuous and seamless rather
Right,
than kind
right.
of
Sporadic.
kind of sporadic. Yeah. So I think that was just like a nice reminder that I was left with, just kind of
Yeah,
observing the
yeah,
feedback.
for sure.
Amazing. Well, that's a wrap. Wishing everyone the best of luck with all of your donor thank you calls, your follow up, and the relationships, new and old, that you're continuing to build. We have 3 weeks left of this year's Donor Conversation Weekly. So we will have 3 more scenarios, all tied to and relevant to your year end fundraising. And it's our way to try to help support you as you think about your own readiness and the conversations and relationships that you're building this year, and as you turn the page into next year. So until further ado, we'll see you next week. And thanks so much, Charlotte. That was great.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. See you, everyone.
Thanks, y'all. With every modern tool and technology available to us, why do we still struggle to meet the donor where they are in their journey? It's because technology can't replace the number one skill set fundraisers use and need every single day to move from insights to action: the art of human conversation and connection. Because conversations move missions. The right conversation can unlock generosity, deepen trust, and fuel impact. But fundraisers rarely get a safe place to practice those high-stakes moments. That's why we built Practivated, the first AI-powered donor conversation simulator built just for fundraisers. Our AI coach, Tivi, provides real-time, personalized feedback so every fundraiser can build confidence, sharpen their storytelling, and strengthen relationships.
I'm your strategic fundraising coach built right into Practivated. My whole focus is helping fundraisers like you take confident, high-impact action by aligning with what truly drives donor behavior. I'm trained in evidence-backed strategies that center authentic connection, ethical storytelling, and time-smart execution. Nothing fluffy, all results-oriented. So whether you're navigating a tricky donor conversation, refining your outreach, or battling fundraising fatigue, I'm here for just-in-time guidance that's practical and actionable.
Ready to see it in action? Step into practice today. Practivated. Confidence for every conversation.